if the magnitude of sum of two vectors is equal to the magnitude of difference of two vectors, the angle between the vectors is, see, this is something that we've been repeatedly telling in the class time and time again, that it is very important to make sure that you know the fundamental results, and that we have discussed this class many of times, that if modulus a plus b is equal to mod of a minus b, then the angle between them is pi by 2 or otherwise 90 degree. So the correct option is option B. Now, of course, it's say for example, if you're not able to recollect this during the exam, how do you do this? It's simple. What you do is you write like this, right? Mod a plus b is equal to mod a minus b, and then if you take square on both sides, if you take the dot product on both sides, what do you get? Mod of vector a plus b dot mod of vector a plus b is equal to mod of vector a minus b dot mod of vector a minus b. And what is this equal to? This is equal to a square plus b square plus 2 mod a, 2 a dot b is equal to a square plus b square minus 2 a dot b. And remember, it's a dot b and not a into b, because it's a vector here. So a square and b square will cancel. What else do we have? 2 a dot b is equal to minus 2 a dot b, and therefore 4 a dot b is equal to 0. See, when we say 4 a dot b is equal to 0, 4 definitely is not equal to 0. So then what can be equal to 0? A dot b is equal to 0. Now what is a dot b? A dot b is mod a mod b cos theta is equal to 0. Now, since it is not given in this question specifically that either a or b are non-zero vectors, we can assume that a and b are non-zero, which means the only possibility is cos theta is equal to 0, and cos theta is equal to 0 implies cos theta is equal to cos pi by 2. Therefore, theta is equal to pi by 2. Okay. Now, one common mistake that students make here, let me add a couple of points here. What usually I get as a feedback from the class. One common mistake is that students assume that the given question actually means this: mod a plus b, vector a plus vector b is equal to vector a minus vector b. No. These two are not the same. I'll tell you why. What does this imply? This implies that vector a minus vector a plus vector b plus vector b is equal to 0. And vector a minus vector b is 0, which means 2 times vector b is equal to 0. And this is possible only when vector b is equal to 0, or when vector b is a null vector. So vector b is a null vector implies vector a plus vector b is equal to vector a minus b. And mod of a plus b is equal to mod of a minus b implies that the angle between them is 90 degree. There's a difference. Okay. And I will try to add the link for the previous explanation here, which actually gives a very detailed comparison between the different angles and the resultants. But okay, let us not go through another video. So let us just summarize the values, the points here itself. See, so what we have is some additional results that you can use for your future reference, for easy reference maybe. So if resultant is equal to the magnitude of individual equal vectors, I repeat, if the resultant is equal to the magnitude of individual equal vectors, then the angle between them is 120 degree. If the resultant is equal to modulus of p plus q or a plus b, then the angle between them is 0 degree. If the resultant is equal to magnitude of p minus vector q or vector a minus vector b, then the angle between them is 180 degree. Okay. Now, let's add one more result for your convenience. See, vector A, we use P here, so let's use P. So vector P, modulus of vector P plus vector Q, modulus of vector P plus vector Q, modulus of vector P minus vector Q, and modulus of vector P minus vector Q. Why am I writing it 4 times? Because we need the maximum of this, the minimum of this. We need the maximum value of this, P minus Q max, P minus Q min. Okay, so these are 2 things that we want. And what does this imply? See, P plus Q is maximum, and the maximum value is equal to mod P plus mod Q, and this happens when theta is equal to 0 degrees. Okay, and the magnitude of P plus Q is minimum, and that minimum value is mod P minus mod Q, and this happens when theta is equal to 180 degrees. And mod of P minus mod Q is maximum. I repeat, mod of P, vector P minus Q is maximum, and this time it's equal to the sum of individual magnitudes of these vectors, and this happens when theta is equal to 180 degrees. And mod of P minus Q assumes the minimum value, which is equal to the difference of these vectors, and when the angle between them is 0 degree. So I think these will help you in finding the answer quickly, or maybe going through or at least eliminating some options to to get the correct option fastly. All right, so let's move on to the next question.